How's it going?
Good, how about you?
Great.
All right, no good? Okay, questions for Andre? We'll start second row to your right with Ira.
Yeah, Andre, I know when you came up here, as a recruit, you said you wanted, your family wanted you to finish high school and not rush into college in the spring. How was it hard though in the spring to know that spring practice was happening and some of your classmates were already here, but you were still finishing up all your high school stuff?
Yes, sir. It was hard because it's always like you're missing out on work, but during that time I had wrestling to work on and I had some other like things to go through with school itself. So I knew I wasn't missing out too much, but it's always like hard to see your teammates putting in work and you can't be there for them.
And we'll go front row on the left for Brendan.
Can you walk us through the recruiting process? There's not a whole lot of prospects coming out of the Key West area. So like
Yes,
how,
sir.
how did people start recognizing you, and how early on did you realize that like football was a viable path for you to get to college?
I didn't really find out until closer to the end of my junior season. I really didn't think I was like able to go D1. And my first offer, I still haven't even talked to the coach. They gave me the offer. My coach told me about it, and then after that, I feel like I started to become like more well known, and I was able to kind of put myself out there more. And then that's kind of where it started to spread like a.
We'll go to Jack, second row on your left.
It looks like you did a lot of, different sports in high school. You did the wrestling. It looks like lacrosse is on there as well, football, track and field. I mean, how have all those different sports, helped you in different parts of your game on the football field?
Well, for wrestling was a really big one for me. That one's a really big mental front. For wrestling, you have to have a really good mentality going in there, and it's also really good for footwork and form. For track, I feel like that helped me with speed because I did do the 200, and I love that. Lacrosse, I just love the physicality of lacrosse and like being able to hit people again. It was a good substitute when I couldn't play football.
We'll go back to Brendan, front row on your left.
How did you originally get into football?
I actually quit football in the first grade because it was flag football, and I didn't really like being the biggest kid on the field and not really being able to hit people. And then one of my good coaches, he's like a dad to me, Coach Jason, brought me back into it in second grade and taught me about contact football, and that's kind of where I fell in love with it.
Go back to Ira on the right.
This might be two questions. Did you say you ran the 200?
Yes, sir.
At what point was that?
That was my sophomore year when I did track.
Really? What? So I assume athleticism is a big part of your game as an offensive lineman.
Yes, sir.
We'll go to the back corner for Adlon.
Were you really seriously thinking about going to Princeton? And how real was that? And what was it like to know that like you could go play? I mean, I play, but like you could enroll in an Ivy League university.
Yes, sir. I was really considering Princeton. At the time, like I like to think I'm a smart kid, but I don't think I'm Princeton smart. I'm just saying. But honestly, I was really looking forward to like a school that like really had what I was looking for. And Princeton had a film program. It's just not as well known as FSU.
We'll go back to Brendan on your left.
You mentioned film. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, how you got into film, what aspects of it you like, you're passionate about it, obviously?
Yes, sir. I started a YouTube channel when I was really, really young, just making videos and skits and stuff, and I've always really loved it. And my high school had an elective program where we were able to like actually touch a camera and like kind of get into the digital media of film, and started doing competitions and really, really fell in love with like directing and cinematography.
Stay there with Brendan again.
How much time did you spend on film in high school? Like, I guess you did a lot of sports. So how does one balance that passion and a future career and that, and then sports as well?
Yes, sir. I spent a lot of time on film. I've put in a lot of hours into films. Like editing alone is hours and hours on end just to edit. But I mean, football has always been my number one. It's been school football and then film. But since I had that, since I had the chance to have it as an elective, I was able to get it in during school. So I was able to put in some of my projects during school and really work on my craft there.
We'll go back to Adlon on the right corner.
You seem like a really nice kid, so like shout out to your family. But this sport, like you've got to have like a mean streak in you. Not saying that
Absolutely.
you can't, but how do you manage to like be pretty affable off the field, and like what happens to you when the helmet comes on, the shoulder pads come on, and how did you figure out how to, switch into that?
It's just when I zone in, I don't really like. I feel like I'm not saying I'm a different person, but like when I zone in, like, and I'm going against another person, like I kind of just switch. I guess it's just like a switch of the flick. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it just happens.
All right, we'll come to the front row for Kurt.
What position on the line, I guess, did you primarily play in high school, or did you move around? And I guess have Coach Atkins and the coaches talked about where they think you're going to start this year?
High school wise, I moved around a lot. I worked on center, guard, tackle. I kind of like flipped it around a lot. As for FSU, I'm kind of working wherever they want me to be. I mean, wherever it can put me on the field the fastest, I feel like is the best route.
I'm going to go back to Brendan on your left.
Do you have a favorite film and a favorite director?
Right now, I really like Jordan Peele. I like the movies he's made. And my favorite movie, I'd say Shawshank Redemption. I really like that movie.
Come back to Ira on your right.
You guys have a big offensive line group, and a lot of guys have played a lot of football, not even just at Florida State. What kind of things have you been able to pick up just being around some of these older guys?
The one thing that honestly I was surprised about is the whole team's like really welcoming. Like they brought me in really nice. They helped me with my plays if I don't know. I've gone over to Rob's apartment and we went over plays one day. It's just like compared to like high school where it's like that seniority thing, it's not as much there as it was in high school.
We'll go back to Aslan.
Coach Atkins seems like a hard guy to make happy and play under. But what about that, if that, makes it appealing for you as a player to want to play for Coach Atkins?
I think that with Coach Atkins, he looks for the best in each player and he pushes them for that. And I'm excited for that because I do want to see what I can personally like my best. I want to see my best, and I think he'll help me reach that.
Aslan.
I'm sure a lot of this was like the product of you living down in Key West, but when it comes to recruiting, I know everybody wants to get the invites to all the camps and all the interviews and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if our network has a photo of you like on your recruiting page, but like you're at Florida State, you're at a top 10 program. They believe in you. Like how fulfilling is that for you and your family that you're able to come live your dream, fulfill and pursue a career and in film hopefully, but you're here at this level of a program?
I'm really grateful for the opportunity. As of right now, I don't see that the work's finished. I still got a lot to work on, especially being here. I have a lot of goals that I need to push and perceive. So,
Go good? All right.
thank you.